Ever had a sniffle and heard someone say, "You've got a bug"? It's a phrase we toss around all the time, whether we're talking about a runny nose, a sore throat, or a stomach that just won't settle. But what do we really mean when we say bug? Most of us don't stop to think about it. We just know we feel lousy and want to get better. We use bug as a catch-all for just about any illness, from the common cold to the flu, from food poisoning to a lingering cough. It's a simple way to talk about being sick, but it also means we end up lumping all germs together, as if they're the same thing. In reality though, the world of germs is much more complicated and fascinating than we might think. Both viruses and bacteria are invisible to the naked eye, and both can make us feel miserable. They seem to strike out of nowhere, turning a normal day upside down. Because we can't see them, and because their symptoms often overlap, it's easy to mix them up. But these tiny invaders are actually very different from each other, and understanding those differences is key to staying healthy. Treating viruses and bacteria as if they're the same can lead to big mistakes, especially when it comes to getting the right treatment. For example, taking antibiotics for a viral infection won't help you get better, and it can even make things worse by contributing to antibiotic resistance. On the other hand, ignoring a bacterial infection that needs medicine can let it get much more serious. Think of it like solving two different puzzles. At first glance, the pieces might look similar, but each puzzle has its own unique solution. You wouldn't try to force a piece from one puzzle into another, and you shouldn't use the same approach for every illness either. Knowing which bug you're dealing with helps you choose the right strategy to get well. Viruses and bacteria are fundamentally different in how they live, reproduce, and spread. Bacteria are living organisms that can survive on their own, while viruses need to hijack your cells to multiply. Some bacteria are even helpful, living in our bodies and supporting our health, while viruses are always looking for a host to invade. Knowing which is making you sick is crucial for proper treatment and for protecting those around you. This isn't just information for doctors and scientists. Understanding the difference between viruses and bacteria helps everyone make smarter choices. It can guide you on when to see a doctor, when to rest at home, and how to prevent spreading illness to others. It also helps you understand why certain treatments work for some illnesses but not for others. That's why you might get a prescription for antibiotics when you have strep throat. But be told to rest and drink fluids if you have the flu. The right treatment depends on knowing what's causing your symptoms, and that starts with understanding the basics of these tiny invaders. So, let's dive in and unravel the mystery of these tiny titans. We'll explore what makes viruses and bacteria similar, what sets them apart, and how our bodies and modern medicine fight back against them. By learning more, you'll be better equipped to protect yourself and your loved ones. By the end of this journey, you'll know how to tell viruses and bacteria apart, why it matters for your health, and how to make the best choices when you or someone you care about gets sick. Let's get started. Before we talk differences, let's look at what viruses and bacteria share. Both are incredibly tiny. Millions could fit on a pinhead, and invisible to the naked eye. This invisibility is why we often call them all germs. Both can cause disease, though not all bacteria are bad, and not all viruses infect humans. They spread in similar ways, through the air, on surfaces, by touch, or in food and water. That's why hand washing is a universal defense. Both trigger our immune system, which sends out specialized cells to fight them off. The fever and tiredness you feel, that's your body battling these invaders. Our immune system is our main weapon against both. Now, what really sets viruses and bacteria apart? Although both can make us sick, they are fundamentally different in many ways, from their size and structure to how they live, reproduce, and even how we treat the infections they cause. First, let's talk about size. Bacteria are giants compared to viruses. Under a microscope, bacteria are visible as tiny cells, but viruses are so much smaller that you'd need a much more powerful microscope just to see them. In fact, some viruses are hundreds of times smaller than the smallest bacteria. Imagine a bacterium as big as a school bus. In that case, a virus would be like a single passenger sitting inside the bus, tiny, almost invisible, but still along for the ride. Bacteria are living, single-celled organisms. They have all the machinery they need to survive, grow, and reproduce on their own. They can move, eat, and even sense their environment, making them surprisingly complex for something so small. Viruses, on the other hand, are much simpler. They aren't truly alive by most definitions. A virus is just a bit of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, wrapped in a protein shell. On their own, they can't move, grow, or reproduce. They're completely inert until they find a living host. Bacteria reproduce independently by splitting in two, a process called binary fission. This allows them to multiply rapidly, sometimes doubling their numbers in just minutes under the right conditions. Viruses, however, can't reproduce by themselves. Instead, they invade living cells and hijack the cell's machinery, forcing it to make new copies of the virus. The cell becomes a virus factory, churning out more and more viruses. Eventually, the host cell bursts open, releasing a flood of new viruses that go on to infect other cells. This destructive process is what makes viral infections so difficult to control. This parasitic method of reproduction is unique to viruses and is a big reason why they can be so harmful to our bodies, damaging tissues and spreading quickly. Bacteria, in contrast, can live and multiply almost anywhere, on surfaces, in soil, in water, and even inside our bodies. Viruses, though, always need a living host to survive and multiply. Because of these differences, the way we treat bacterial and viral infections is also very different. Antibiotics can kill bacteria or stop them from growing, but they don't work on viruses. For viruses, we need vaccines or antiviral drugs, which work in completely different ways. Understanding these key differences helps doctors, scientists, and all of us make better decisions about how to prevent and treat infections, keeping ourselves and our communities healthier. When you hear bacteria, you might think bad, but most bacteria are harmless or even helpful. Trillions of good bacteria live in and on us, our microbiome. They help digest food, absorb nutrients, and even produce vitamins like vitamin K. These bacteria form a protective barrier against harmful germs. Of course, some bacteria are troublemakers. Pathogenic bacteria like Salmonella or certain E. coli can cause illness. These harmful bacteria invade tissues and release toxins, leading to symptoms like pain, fever, and swelling. They're the reason we have antibiotics. Most bacteria are our partners, not our enemies. Understanding the good and bad helps us use medicine wisely. Not all germs are villains. Many are essential for our health. Unlike bacteria, viruses are pure parasites. No good side for our health. They're just genetic code in a protein shell, waiting to invade a living cell. Viruses spread efficiently through air, surfaces, and direct contact. Once inside, they target specific cells, inject their genetic material, and hijack the cell's machinery. The cell becomes a virus factory, churning out thousands of new viruses. Eventually, the cell bursts, releasing more viruses to infect others. This cycle causes the symptoms of viral illness, cell destruction, and immune response. Common viral diseases include the flu, colds, chickenpox, and measles. Each virus is specialized in hijacking certain cells. Viruses are masters of microscopic invasion. Feeling sick? It's a question we all face at some point, especially during cold and flu season. But when you start to feel under the weather, how do you know what's really going on inside your body? Is it just a mild virus, or could it be something more serious that needs medical attention? One of the most common questions people have is, how can you tell if your symptoms are caused by a virus or by bacteria? The answer isn't always obvious, but there are some key differences that can help you figure it out. Viral illnesses like the common cold and the flu tend to affect your whole body. You might notice muscle aches, a fever that comes on quickly, feeling extremely tired, a runny or stuffy nose, and a sore throat. These symptoms often appear together and can make you feel wiped out for several days. Colds usually stick to your upper respiratory system, causing sneezing, congestion, and a scratchy throat. The flu, on the other hand, often brings sudden, severe symptoms, like chills, high fever, and body aches that can leave you bedridden. Bacterial infections are a bit different. They're often more localized, meaning you might have a very sore throat that makes it hard to swallow, like with strep throat, or a painful ear infection. Sometimes you'll notice swelling, redness, or pus in the affected area. The good news is that most viral illnesses will start to improve on their own within about a week. Rest, fluids, and over-the-counter remedies can help you feel better as your body fights off the infection. But if you have a bacterial infection, symptoms may linger or even get worse over time. Sometimes, you might feel like you're getting better, only to have a new wave of symptoms hit you even harder. Watch for warning signs like thick yellow or green mucus, a fever that spikes after a few days, or pain that doesn't go away. These can be clues that bacteria are involved, and you might need antibiotics to recover. Of course, only a doctor can say for sure what's causing your symptoms, but paying attention to these clues can help you decide when it's time to seek medical advice. If your symptoms drag on for more than a week, get worse instead of better, or you develop new problems like trouble breathing or chest pain, don't wait, see a doctor right away. Knowing the difference between viral and bacterial infections helps you get the right treatment, recover faster, and avoid unnecessary antibiotics. Listen to your body and don't hesitate to reach out for help if you're unsure. Here's why knowing the difference matters. Treatments are totally different. Bacterial infections are treated with antibiotics, which kill bacteria by targeting their unique structures. It's vital to finish your antibiotics. Stopping early can lead to resistance. Antibiotics do nothing for viruses. For viral illnesses, rest, fluids, and symptom relief are your best bet. Over-the-counter meds can ease symptoms, but your immune system does the real work. Sometimes, doctors prescribe antivirals for serious viral infections, but these only slow the virus down. Most of the time and rest are the best medicine for viruses. Using the right treatment keeps you healthy and prevents bigger problems. Don't demand antibiotics for a cold. They won't help. So, how do doctors know what's making you sick? They start with a physical exam and questions about your symptoms. Sometimes, classic signs, like a red throat with white spots, are enough. If it's unclear, doctors use rapid tests or send samples to the lab. Throat swabs, blood, or urine can reveal the culprit. Lab tests can spot specific bacteria or viruses, guiding the right treatment. Accurate diagnosis means you get the care you need. Now, how do you protect yourself? The best defense is simple. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Practice good hygiene. Cover coughs and sneezes. Avoid touching your face. Keep your immune system strong with healthy food, exercise, and enough sleep. Good habits protect you from both viruses and bacteria. Knowing the difference helps you make smart choices about medicine and when to see a doctor. Partner with your doctor and use antibiotics wisely. With these tools, you can stay healthy in a world full of germs. That's science in action.